Why hello YouTube, Sarcastic Raptor here, welcome back to some more Stellaris, and hopefully this doesn't run like a complete fucking potato, we'll see. I'm playing normal speed. I've also had to disable one of the Planetary mods here because it's incompatible with Guili's Planetary Modifiers, and that's why you might get a few black screens like this. But don't be too worried. What do you like if I put you in fast speed? That's actually not as slow as I've seen before. I'm still getting new technology. It's the amount of claims that I'm having to do as well, which is a nuisance. If more seconds. Unique ocean forest, yeah, so this might seem a bit weird, but resources are very low as well. We could, I might always just go towards this attack actually. If I move my fleets into certain areas of space, we're probably worth a lot of luck against them. That's still extremely inferior in comparison to the other faction. Well, compared to what they were, because they got bummed by the Khans. Still sending that fleet out to go for pirates. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely going to put me in the red, by the way. Got a lot of cruisers. Oh, got these 6 cruisers in that fleet. Minerals. My mineral outlay this game has just been really bad. It's going to make all the difference by building a few extra mining networks. You just watch. Even though it's energy credits which are going to cuck me. Well, it's going to take Wildfly's fleets to move that anyway. Jump drive technology would be delightful. A groundbreaking technological marvel, the jump drive shreds the local space-time continuum and rearranges it on the quantum level to be identical to that of the target destination. And thus the ship appears to nearly instantly jump from system to system. Which is pretty cool. So some really annoying pirates there, so that scientist has died. I thought it would be, you can be my new scientist, and what were you doing? By the looks of it, you're assisting with research. That's not assist research on the sun, that's fine now. There you go. Oh, the Soul Battle Group is heading out. Which is always nice to see. Yeah, the frame rate's not absolutely terrible, at least. Probably toning down the amount of planets I play with would help as well. Critical research, yeah, I know that. Oh, that's terrible. Those are some bad debuffs, but at least we'll be, in a while, in this system. Wasn't going to crash there, that was fun. Yeah, my recording system I'm using is Action Marilis. My god, what is it actually doing? It's not working that well. Thing is, I played 0 Hour and other games like that and it works fine. It's just really playing up with Stellaris recently. Why is it just a random destroyer? And Corvette here, that's what I want to know. That's not beautiful though. It's a bit of a weird skybox. It'll take ages for my fleets to move out and get to their required destinations. I ain't really building too much. That's to try and fight this attack, and you've got these tomorrow empires that are just literally collapsed into splinter factions. Got the state of geared and all for them. Unrest hallowed. Oh dear.
A new conflict has erupted.
Why are you turning into spiritualist? I'm getting forced migration. What is that? I do not know, but that probably is due to the fact we just had that spiritualist thing come up. Oh, that's not good. I can only see that as not being good. The technology is just a million miles away from even getting researched at the moment. The attempt to disband that Bliss defense fleet. How much are you even costing me? Hey, I've got a Titan there. That's 39, 10, 15. Okay, so it's quite a bit actually. No, that's this planet, Tar fleet. Just I'm actually earning some resources, and all these horrible debuffs go away. And we might just need to do is build a few defensive structures. Could be rest. We can just upgrade this starbase. In the Polaris system, it's got quite a few. It's got a few reasons to upgrade it anyway, just due to all the engineering research. So maybe not a bad thing to do. Oh, well, I've got these two random little battle groups that are just turning up. Have we got a crew quarters in these places? No, we do not. We're going to need one when all those turn up, though. I've seen them on Firemind to certainly change a little bit since I last looked at them. Okie doke. Oh, I know what I've done. Oh, that's a bit of a cucking. I'm not playing with the... Like, if I click on the Predators, it's not going to show me a Predator, is it? No, it's not. Forgot to click back on the... like, weird species button, whatever you call it. Unlimited sci-fi race species. That's what I meant to do. Oh well. I can just activate that in the next episode. That's not a huge problem. Problem is this damn frame rate issues that I'm getting. It's making me a bit salty about this series at the moment. Obviously, it makes you more inclined to start again once the amount of lag you're getting is like not making the game too enjoyable in the grand scheme of things, to put it mildly. I really don't know what is the thing to do at the moment, but we are probably going to go toward this attack. Influence is slower. Like, I get annoyed with all these factions because some of them are just hard to appease. Like the highest one I've got is in internal development initiative. Defensive stance, non-violence. That's not really what I'm Unity about. But hey, you make the United Nations Space Commander be all... Well, I don't say they may come out, but UNSC were not a pure sort of good faction. A lot of it was they did want control and complete control of all the colonies. That's why you had the like insurrectionists that wanted to break away. That's like the Spartans weren't made to fight the Covenant. The Spartans were made to fight the insurrectionist rebels. It just turned out that way, that they were super effective against the Covenant when employed in spec ops situations and ground-based operations. Soon the Covenant technology is practically thousands of years ahead of the UNSC. If not hundreds. Well, I'll just say hundreds of thousands, or thousands. But the problem in the Covenant, they have a huge flaw in their entire sort of ethos, and that's they don't really adapt that well. It's like, I'm pretty sure you don't see much difference in their ships from large spheroids and spans of time, when the UNSC quite happily would incorporate Covenant technology in their future ships' designs. It's like the Infinity, it had shields, ridiculously good shields, and it had forward runner technology incorporated to it, and it was by the end of the war, it made it, well, when Infinity come into service, it was such a effective ship due to its size, the fact that it was like a carrier, it housed hundreds of Spartans, God knows how many Marines and ODST, and plus it could hold Trident class frigates that pirates. Yeah, they are. Thought they would be. Oh, that's typical. They're just coming into this system just as I'm trying to upgrade the starbase. Well, that's not going to be good anyway.
They are assaulting our spaceport.
Because my spaceport isn't going to hold up too well against that many ships. I've got a few cruisers as well. Creepy Feet, No Good, and Megalomaniac. Got missiles for days. Well, we're not going to stop them there anyway. My resources are so low at the moment, actually, it's killing me. These my ships have nearly arrived. Which is good. We need a crew quarters here for when my fleets do get there. Yeah, the Infinity just was so advanced that even like a Covenant CSO class, I want to say like assault carriers and the most advanced Covenant ships just could not fight the Infinity. It was just too good. It was the amount of advancements in the railguns and MAC guns it had as well. I want to say it had like 4 different MAC guns, if more than that. I want to say it was insane. And a MAC gun was an effective weapon that UNSC employed against the Covenant. Weren't like it wasn't effective. It was just a case of UNSC could really only fire their MAC guns away, and it was a case of hoping for the best after that. So it'd be very, very nice if this fleet could get into our orbit around that station. So I'm actually earning some resources instead of just feeding off scraps. Stellaris is very, very pretty. You forget how pretty a game it is sometimes. Oh, healthcare campaign expired, recycling, oh, that's not good. You want to put all those back on there. Right, that's already 94 more resources, that's good.
A new conflict has erupted.
And F3 regime of awarding F3 cancel, okay. That's like the Spider-Man meme when they're both pointing to each other when it's like, it's you. Oh, I need more. Still more minerals. How annoying. My fleets can't be that far off. Our battle group Stalingrad is still a ways off. I was watching a video the other day about the infamous Order I want to say it's 227 from the Soviet Union, which was known as the not one step back order. But there's all the inaccuracies about it, because if you watch the film Enemy in the Gates starring Jude Law, spoiler alert if anyone's seen it, but practically it starts with a massed Russian infantry charge against a pretty well defended German position, and it's just like Russians holding pieces of ammunition and Mosin and Gantz just charging this fortified German defensive position, like with tanks, MG emplacements. Germans with like the assault rifles, the SGG-44, I want to say. And it's bad time for the Russians. But essentially, what they used to do was, in this film, they showed the Russians utilising blocking detachments, which are like better equipped Russian soldiers at the rear of the Russian lines, that if any people retreated, they'd mow them down and shoot them. But the actual order 227, was more aimed at Russian commissars, officers and generals. It was more generals and officers, and commissars will not commit acts of cowardice. Otherwise they could be in trouble from the Russian actual infantry, the soldiers under their command. Because they think in too many battles the Russians have just broke and left the lines without putting up heavy resistance. So all this stuff when they're just killing their own men was just completely inaccurate. People will say about, the Soviet Union had so much manpower that the Germans can never beat them. The Soviet Union lost 15% of their population during World War II. About 8 to 14 million, I think is the statistic normally used of how many just Russian soldiers died. That's a lot of troops to lose. The Russians also, at the start of Operation Barbarossa and the beginnings of the campaign, the Russians didn't have the troops and manpower to actually combat the Germans effectively, because the Germans absolutely trashed and battered the Soviet Red Army due to a lot of mass encirclements at the start of the war. The Germans, in fact, actually outnumbered the Soviet Union at the start. That's the ironic thing. But a lot of people forget about that. It was like I was watching a video by Military History Visualised, and it shows that everyone has this sort of impression of the German army, where it's this extremely well-efficient mechanised force, and they were just like their divisions, panzer divisions, were just absolutely chock-a-forward tank. The infantry divisions had loads of armour support, half tracks for days. It was just a well-oiled machine. And even at the start of Operation Barbarossa, I think the Russians were still using something like 600,000 horse-drawn carriages. No, the Germans, I should say, 600,000 horse-drawn carriages for the infantry division. So it was not a mechanised. If anything, it was still a quite outdated force. We're our greatest starbase, but I think it's going to get killed before it can get anything done, really. Used to earn some resources, not a lot, but some. One of my other fleets still needs to get into position. That's what amuses me. It's like the German Tiger tank. It's got such a infamous reputation for being a heavy tank that all Russian and American, British tank crews feared alike. But when you look in the grand scheme of things, they only made about 1,300. Considering they made, I want to say about 6,500 Panthers, around that number. I'm going to say, as an estimate for the Panzer IV and Panzer III, at least double that. Because I don't know how top made. I want to say about 12,000 they might have made of each, or around that. It's not a lot. You were very unlikely to come across a Tiger tank. It's like you were pretty unlikely to come across a Panther as well if you were an enemy tank crew, or an enemy infantry division, or soldier. That was the thing. Oh, I'm going to lose this. They're just going to be a pain in the arse, those pirates. They're baiting me, but I just can't be bothered to. With how slow this rank rate is as well, I just can't be bothered to send out a fleet to get them. I'd have to move my armies up here now, wouldn't I, as well? That's the thing.
The enemy is targeting one of our stations.
I know they are, but I can't be bothered to stop them. God, everyone's leaving this planet. Why is everyone leaving? Oh, it's that fucking... It's because I've turned off planetary diversity and Toby thinks it's got 0 habitability. Well, I didn't think of that, really. That's a bit silly. I was just trying to improve performance. I've not even managed to do that. Could go. It's up to people what they want to see me do. I could go to war with this attack and just see how I do against them. I presume I would win, judging by the information. They're pathetic compared to me. Or I could start a new series and you could be your choice what I play as and what I do. Because this series is going a bit stale just because of the frame rate and I had a few issues. Samuro just sent me an insult. That's what he'd like to see. Anyways, please like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next episode. And please comment your feedback down below.